Sure.
Hi and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast from another Authors Tuesday. Today I'm delighted to be joined by another great author, Miguel Rivera, from the United States. He has a couple of books published there, I think 6 or 7 in total. Miguel, yeah?
Yes, 2 published so far and about 5 more coming.
Brilliant, brilliant. So you're very welcome onto the show today, Miguel. Thanks a lot for joining me.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here today.
Great stuff. So we might just start the podcast off. If would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and the books you've written, would be great.
Sure. I'm from an area of the United States called New Jersey, and my parents came here from a little island called Puerto Rico. Yeah. I was born and raised in New Jersey, and I became a cop there. I worked in prison, and I saw, many things, but Newark being a tough city at certain times, one of the things that helped me survive was a love of reading that my mom instilled. And so once I left the police department, I was at liberty to pursue, my dreams, to write, create things that I like.
Great stuff. Have you always written yourself, Miguel? Have you always been a writer? Where did the journey start for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a child, I wrote poetry. You name it. We wrote in college. I wrote little scripts, little skits, comedy things to entertain others.
Great stuff. Yeah. And what's the name of the books? Do you want to show because it's going to be on YouTube as well, so you can show. Yeah, brilliant.
The first book is just self-titled Pivotal Universe.
Mm-hmm. Looks cool, yeah.
So that, it's the opening of the main character. It's the introduction of her life. It revolves around a female police detective from New York City who goes through an experience, and it as the story goes on, it becomes paranormal. I grew up on Marvel comics. I love science. A huge science fiction fan. So obviously, this book is gonna reflect that.
Great stuff. Yeah, no, I'm with you there 100%. Brilliant. I love science fiction. Great. Yeah, and where did your ideas come from? Like, obviously from your love of science fiction and stories, and plus, it's funny that you kind of took your own work life and put it into the book as well.
Sure. I went to a school in Manhattan. In New York. Manhattan is real close. To give you perspective, when we had the 9/11 towers go down, I saw it from the windows of my house.
Oh my God.
So we're close to Manhattan. So I was able to go to school there in a place called Gotham. There's a writing school. So they teach you something called dessert first, like a concept where you write what you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, brilliant.
And, I was a cop a long time. I did many crazy things. America's a crazy, crazy place. Yeah. But, I was able to put that together with my love of science fiction to create these books, to create this character, Darlene and her adventures, her superpowered team.
Great. That's brilliant. Yeah, sounds like a movie. Sounds like it could be a movie out at some time.
Oh, from your lips to God's ears, sir.
Yeah, brilliant. And how many are published at the moment? How many books do you have published?
Well, I have two published. I published through the Amazon platform.
Great.
But it's almost 500,000 words. So you had the way they structure, you have to break it into a series of books.
Yeah. So it takes some time.
Oof. A lot of typing, you get carpal tunnel over here.
Yeah. But
a lot of fun though. I enjoy it,
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And where can people get it as well? Where can people buy Miguel?
These are all available on Amazon in Kindle form, and obviously in a paperback form. Very easy, very well priced. I didn't look to make a lot of money. Yeah. Guaranteed you'll find the work entertaining. You'll see that it's a lifetime of police work in science fiction.
Yeah. Brilliant. And have you retired long from? Have you left the force now? Do you still?
Thank God.
Yeah. Put the feet up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like like getting out of prison. I don't know.
Yeah, and like you know the way the 9/11, like everybody remembers where they were back then. So like you know, it was like it must have been horrific for people living where you were living, but like out of that as well, you probably did you incorporate any of the nightmare stuff that happened in your books?
Well, yes. I mean, at one point, some of my characters, they're time travelers. So they have to convince people of things that are going to happen. So they cite certain things with
Yeah,
specific dates and that sort of thing. You know,
yeah,
I went there, I went to Ground Zero. That was the closest I've ever been to a war. And I mean, everybody has guns in America. There's a sea of violence here. But, you know, when I went there with my wife the week before to Chinatown to shop, and
yeah,
everything was in place. So the week after we went there, it was like that movie Saving for like a movie set. I could not believe, you know, I grew up watching those towers. We're literally like within sight, you know, within viewing distance of them our entire lives. They were gone, you know. So yes, it's reflected. Some of those things are reflected in the book,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and you know how humans just kind of we change, we evolve, but we kind of stay the same.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. But thankfully, you all your family are okay. After it, like thankfully, all your family are okay after the tragedy back then.
By the grace of God, man,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
my sister flies United. She almost switched schedules with a
Oh
girl,
my God.
and she was on flight 93.
Oh my God.
And that's the one that went down in Pennsylvania, which is about
Yeah,
an hour and a half from here, westbound.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh God.
yeah, I know. I lost friends there. You know, a
Oh,
lot of good people. That, you know, so you see so many things as a cop. You see so many things as a cop that you know you write constantly. You write investigations. You write. You see, you know, you're like any other human, but imagine if you have a front row seat to
mm,
something horrific happening, and
yeah,
you literally see it as it's happening. So these things, if you're a writer, it's material. Unfortunately, some of them are, you know, on the dark side.
mm, yeah, yeah. But I suppose it's good in a way to kind of show people your perspective of what happened as well. Like you know, from somebody with such a bird's eye view of what took place. You know.
Sure, you know, obviously, no matter what I do, you know, you play in a band, and you can tell me what it's like to play in a band. But
Yeah,
until you know, I do a set and I get on those drums, that living things, you know, they
mm,
say being a copper and being a prostitute are those things, you know, you
yeah,
just gotta live it. So what I try with my readers to do is I obviously write science fiction, you know,
mm,
but I combine it with some of the human elements, things that I don't think will change. You know,
yeah,
some of these scenes happen 600 years in the future.
yeah.
So I think that there's some things about us as humans that haven't changed in the last 600 years, even though
Exactly.
we have
Yeah.
many technological advancements.
Yeah, no, great, 100%. And what's next for yourself? You have other books as well that are you're going to be publishing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do like Christian fiction or like children's fiction. I have to, you know, I have to hit every market. Well,
Yeah,
you know, my professor told me when she read some of my things, she encouraged me. She was very nice. A lady named Dr. Akis, Rosemary Akis. She
yeah,
said I was a prolific writer. So I was like, all right, great. I can write different genres. I can write different characters, different. So I would like I had one in mind, a couple in mind. You know, I have one that I want to write that's just police work, no fiction, and it's
mm,
just stories that you know that I've known thousands of cops over here. You
yeah,
know, I was gonna call it, you know, some of the crazy things too. I was gonna call it when cops were gods. You know,
yeah, yeah,
back to the really crazy times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're probably a big fan of Philip K. Dick's work as well, are you?
Yeah, he's got some good stuff out there.
Yeah, yeah. He was great author as well. Yeah, really, really good.
Absolutely.
Mm. And do you have a strategy, Miguel, as well, if you're writing? You know what I mean by that? Would you kind of write a certain amount of words a day, or what kind of strategy do you use yourself?
People, you know, because there were all the good-looking girls were in the typing class, I signed up when I was young in high school.
Yeah,
That's a true story.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can type very, very fast, but a lot of people ask me the question you're asking me. And the truth is that I'm writing all the time. It happens here.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I had to, one of the books that we were required to read is Stephen King's On Writing in the Gotham School. And, you have to make notes. There's times when I was doing some of this, I wrote 500,000 words. So I had to sit up and take notes or make a note on my cell phone, like, yo, don't forget this
Mm-hmm.
dialogue, scenes, character development things. So the answer, I guess I'm writing all the time. Like you, I'm sure you
Yeah,
come up
yeah.
with something. Let me write this down.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, thank you. And have you ever came across in your writing like where you hit a kind of a metaphorical wall, like and like you kind of writer's block? Has ever happened to yourself, Miguel?
I mean, not really, but what I'll do is I take time off. Like
Mhm.
because every writer, I'm sure you and many others go through. There's days that you just feel that flow. It's almost as if this writer is in my ear. This character. These
Yeah,
are
yeah,
these imaginary characters. I'm not.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not medically induced, but
yeah.
it flows, and you'll know it. An artist, a musician, a painter. In that you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta write. I gotta write. So in that sense, yes. But I've never had a problem where I had, oh my God, I can't write. I don't know what to write. Not yet. Thank God.
Yeah, touch wood. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, yeah. Because I know I agree with you 100% there. Because I find when you're writing the characters, they kind of even like you kind of guide you in what to happen next, don't they? Like it's like they're actually they actually become real, so to speak.
my yeah, my sister's one of my proofreaders, and we like came to the same conclusion. Wow, when it was all over, like, wow, we're gonna miss these guys. Like we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of knew that they have nothing to do with us, but then like because you get to know those personalities that you create.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's great. And no, you'll have to share your links as well to your books for so I can share them on the show notes for people to get them. Like, because I have listeners all over the world here, so hopefully we get a couple more sales for you.
Absolute, they will. I promise, they will not be disappointed.
Yeah, cool.
Everybody who's read it puts on, they put on Amazon. They could not put it down. They can't wait for the next book. They all say the same, thank God. It was fun. You'll know you read a book when the author had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, congratulations. I love the covers as well. The art you have there on the what's the story about behind them? Who's done the artwork for you?
Well, my daughter's in school right now. She's in college. She goes to Montclair State, but she does all my covers. On the back, she helped me out. There's a little synopsis of who I am in the second book. But her room is like an art show.
Wow, that's great.
She just finished high school last year. I think her art teacher wanted to adopt her. She's beyond. I obviously, when you read comic books, you see guys like that are just so good. John Romita Jr. My daughter and I, before he died, actually met and took a photograph with
Oh, wow.
with Stan Lee. That was like the height of my day, of my life.
Brilliant. Class, yeah.
You see all these really John Byrne, all these gifted artists, and you go, my God, my daughter's really up there. She's only like 17, 18 now, and so she does all my covers. She's such a sweetie.
That's
I just
great.
give her room and board, and that's it.
No, that's brilliant. They're really, really good. Like, and it's great, isn't it, to have like a family, uh, like your daughter to be able to do that for you as well as part of the book. That's something brilliant, isn't it? Because my daughter, she's only like she's 13 nearly, and she's done a picture of the front cover, and I sent it off to the artist, and they made a picture of her. So it's really great to have a part of your daughter, a part of it, isn't it?
Sure, and as dads, we know that motivates us.
Yeah, big time.
Makes me feel makes us feel
Yeah.
Wow,
Mm,
your kid appreciates your talent.
mm.
And it's nice. It was like that was an unexpected blessing, man.
Great. That's great. That's brilliant. No, it's great work. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. But you know that's great. And you know the way did you ever kind of think of selling to a publisher? You know the way you say you self-published it. Did you ever look at going down the publishing route yourself, Miguel?
Well, when you go to, again, I'm not a Gotham spokesman or whatever, but when
Yeah.
a lot of other writers will also tell you the two roads for writers at nowadays is self-publishing and then a traditional publishing house.
Yeah.
You know, Schuster and Schuster, we're you know, you know, that there are pros and cons with both.
Hmm.
So that if you go with a traditional publishing house, not only do they cut into your royalties, we all know, they also control a little bit of your content.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And my content was whatever I made, as long as it's interesting and intelligent and fun.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody, to God be the glory. I'm a retired lieutenant of police. I have a good pension. So the reason that lets me write freely, there are
Right.
no limits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wasn't willing to sacrifice that freedom. Although, if Schuster called me, or, maybe the publisher is from J.K. Rowling, I might be,
Yeah.
willing to,
They might twist your arm a little bit.
yeah, get that extra cruise money.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, yeah. No, because it looks they're brilliant. It sound really good. And can I just ask you as well, like, what do you like to do in your spare times? What hobbies do you like to do yourself other than writing?
I'm a huge MMA fan. I love
Oh, cool.
jujitsu,
Oh, cool.
kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling. I'm a black belt in jujitsu, so I study with my friends,
Great.
and I guess the gym.
Mm.
Sometimes just going out with the boys,
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
one or
great.
two.
Great stuff. Yeah, yeah. No, because that's a great martial arts. It sounds like a really good art. Like, art.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a grappling art. Judo and jujitsu is like throws and ground fighting. Some
Yeah.
of that's incorporated in the book because
Okay.
one of my characters is an MMA fighter.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. So you're bringing all your talents into the books as well. I love that.
Well, it was my first time at Gotham. They said art deserved first. I hit it with the kitchen sink,
Great stuff. Yeah.
as much as detail and things that I've actually seen mixed in with obviously the genre of science fiction as I possibly could to make it entertaining and fun and
Yeah.
draw the readers in.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, I wish you all the. How long ago did you publish it? How long ago did you publish your book? Is it long ago?
Oh, they're both recently published. One was published in May, and one maybe like 2 or 3 months after. I was trying to put them out a
Yeah.
couple of months apart to
Yeah.
see how that went. I just have zero marketing skills,
Yeah.
but I'm working on that too.
Mm. And do you have any of your books in the libraries in New York? Did you try and get them in libraries and bookstores as well?
No, but Elizabeth Martinez suggested that.
Yeah, that she was on the podcast recently. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She led me to, I would have never met you, sir, which
Yeah.
is an honor.
Ah, thank you. No, yeah, that was a really good podcast with Elizabeth as well. It's really, really good.
I was floored. I love children because that developmental age, 0 to 7, those impressionable years,
Yeah, yeah.
And, we're from a subgroup in America. Maybe like 20% of the people are of Hispanic background.
Okay.
So we face our own sets of challenges. And Elizabeth's the first person. She's a teacher. She's a retired cop. We came up through the academy together.
Wow. Yeah.
So she I was inspired, but she like tripled my inspiration with her story,
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that the way you meet people that kind of inspire you, isn't it? Like I was going to ask you that question: who kind of inspires you? So you've answered it very well there.
She is definitely on that list.
Yeah, because her book as well, like, is great. The way for all languages, kind of the way she kind of explains it is great for kids.
Sure, every country has somebody that moves there, and then those people have kids, and now their kids have to adjust to your way of life, and it's like you live in two worlds.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico's part of the United States, but everybody there speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your parents are from there. You know, I got blessed in that they came young. My mother, with her accent, taught me how to read like Dr. Seuss at the age of 3. You know, that
Yeah.
helped. That
Mm.
elevated my ability to read, my love of reading, because
Mm.
of my mom. She was so sweet. You know.
Great stuff. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, yeah. Because you know, like the books that you read can really inspire you, can't they? And they can kind of help you out with your own, what you're writing yourself.
Oh, without question. I'm always motivated by books that come from the heart, that are,
Mm.
I guess, biographies, autobiographies.
Yeah.
When I've read Malcolm X, when I read Sammy the Bull Gravano,
Mm.
you know, their lives were so intensely, you know, they were in many of their parts, you know, they were outside the boundaries of the law. But, you know, you as a reader, you smell and know that's raw, that's truth, that's
Yeah.
really, really close to the earth. And that's what I like to incorporate in my books. A little fun and a little bit of, hey, listen, here's gravity, come back down, man. Just
Yeah, that's what the best thing about reading, isn't it, Miguel? Because you know, you can watch a movie, but your imagination is so good. You know, that's where the book can be so much more powerful, can't it?
oh, well, obviously you have no lower production costs with a book. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I read Stephen King's Firestarter, and I thought the book was phenomenal.
Mm.
When I saw the movie, it was okay.
You're better off watching the movie first, I think.
Probably, you're probably 100% right. You know.
Yeah. And Miguel, did you have to like, you know, in New York, does a lot of people speak Spanish as well as a kind of a second language, or
Yeah, well, as Elizabeth's book says, there's a lot of Spanglish, and
yeah.
if you are, you know, you might not even notice it. Like, I don't know if they speak a second dialect in Ireland.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, a couple of dialects, yeah.
or imagine you grew up in a household and there's another language or dialect, and you're flowing in and out of dialects, you don't even know it. What you have in New York and New Jersey is many from people from Puerto Rico, or
Yeah.
like myself, of Puerto Rican descent,
Yeah.
and from the Dominican Republic and islands that are found in the Caribbean, and they move over here. And many now Portuguese, like my first sensei is from Brazil.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So Portuguese and Spanish are all derivatives of Latin. So you're going to get many people, many Italians people, many, you know, one of my senseis is Italian. They speak Italian, they speak English. But, you know, as the generations go on, it gets thinner and thinner. Like, it's almost impossible for me to teach my kids Spanish.
Yeah, if you find it fizzling out after a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, the formula has a shelf date, man.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah. Because you know, even like the Irish language, I was probably mentioned on Elizabeth's podcast, you know, like the way it's taught, it's drilled into you. Like nobody has any interest because, like, learn the grammar, learn this, learn that. But like what they should do is kind of concentrate on the spoken language. You know, that's the best way anybody will learn, isn't it?
Of course. And, you know, similarly in books, you know, grammar's great and all that, but the story, every book has a point, and that's what I try to put, you know, together. Yeah. There's got to be a point, a driving not even subliminal, an obvious message, as well as a few subliminal ones, you know. So here in America, you have so many dialects. I don't know if do people still speak Gaelic or whatever it is in Ireland.
We have a TV station, TG4, like TG4, which is all Irish programs, which is great, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know. The only Irish guys I know here are cops. They're like 20th generation or whatever.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a big Irish parade in New York every year.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, you know, but I don't know if they speak the language, Gaelic or any dialect of Ireland.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of dialects with like there's Munster, there's Ulster, and there's Connacht. So there's a lot of different dialects in Ireland. Like yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, language is a beautiful thing, but communication being the point of language.
Yeah.
I try to emphasize that in Pivotal Universe. Obviously, some of the things that happen in the future with communication, and if we have a cell phone now that can translate, imagine in 600 years.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
How far have we come? And that's what I try to tell people. Like, I visit Texas, and everything is spoken kind of drawn out. Their vowels are extended 2 or 3 blocks. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They tell me, "Oh, you have an accent. Where are you from, New York?"
Yeah. Yeah. But no. Yeah. And would you like to maybe just touch on one of your books there, just to I'm not asking to tell loads about it, but just a little bit about the story for people who are going to buy it.
Well, what it is it's obviously science fiction about paranormal. The girl, her name is Darlene.
Yeah.
She's a New York City cop from a family of cops, and something really, really bad happens to her. But at the end of it, she discovers that she has this whole other life and this whole other set of talents and abilities. And she gets to see the future. She gets to see what humanity becomes.
Wow.
And what happens to us when we get to a certain level. I think it was Amada Sante in American Gangster. He said, "Success brings enemies." So that's what happens to the human race. Darlene is a witness to that. Listen, if we as a human race get to a certain technological level, other species and other civilizations are going to notice. Some are going to be nice about it, and some are not going to be nice about it.
Yeah. No, you explain it so well. That sounds great. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it's like we all live on a block. The one neighbor wins the lotto. Some people are happy for him. Others not. So this woman, she gets to witness that. She gets to a time when we've made many technological super duper advancements, things that nobody would even begin to believe. But some of our human qualities, the things that make us people, our human proclivities, the hate, the prejudice, the love, the love of comedy. I love comedy. Yeah, some of the things that make our world what it is continue on in generations.
Yeah. And what book is that? What one is that, Miguel? Sorry.
The first one's Pivotal Universe.
Oh, great! Yeah, great stuff.
This is my daughter's depiction of my character, Darlene.
Great, isn't it? Yeah, that's brilliant.
She's a general in the Milky Way military.
That's great.
Obviously, the second one, 2 of her characters here. This is a guy we call Triple Chin Charlie.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
He has 3 little heads that pop out. He can interface with computers at a speed trillions of times of ours. And this is her husband, William. He's from he's a great guy. He's from England. He's kind of like her, but he is her subordinate at the same time. They're married and they go through a lot of things. He goes through a lot to get her back from the past.
Wow, that's great, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's just, because it kind of has movies written all over it, Miguel,
Well, listen, like, Mark, from your lips to God's ears, man.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. No, that's what's ringing in my ear anyway. Definitely.
Listen, paying off my daughter's education and my mortgage would be a nice reward for writing books.
Great. No, I'm sure there is a market, because I don't know about yourself, but I haven't seen any great science fiction movies in the last couple of years, really.
I would say in the last 20, 30 years, I would put maybe The Matrix movie 1.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great.
District 9.
Great movie.
And one or two others, but those definitely things they have to. Maybe Elysium.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Elysium has some of the same actors. You know, the Earth has become putrid and like horrifying to live on, but there's like a ring in orbit where all the elite and the rich people live, and the air is clean. They don't age. They don't get sick. They have everything. So it's pretty much a technological version of haves and have-nots.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. One you remind me of there. Did you remember that film In Time? Do you remember that one?
That sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I may have seen it.
His name is, what's his name again? Justin Timberlake, is it? You go instead of you getting money every week.
Oh yes.
You have the number on your.
Yes.
that was good, wasn't it?
Sure. Well, funny you should say it. Some of my characters are immortal.
Okay, yeah, great stuff.
So that brings its own set of problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, success brings enemies. Every time, you know, you think, oh, wow, if I only had this thing, be careful what you wish for.
Great point. Yeah, great point. Exactly, Miguel, yeah.
I try to make it fun, you know.
Yeah, no, it's been great having you on the show, Miguel. Thanks a lot for coming on. And I might just ask you a couple of your favorites before you go, if that's okay. What would your favorite author be? Obviously, your favorite books would be science fiction, but would you have a favorite author or authors you read?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Mark, because I have a list.
Oh, cool. Yeah, great stuff.
I got Stan Lee, Stephen King, George Lucas, Gene Roddenberry, J.R. Tolkien, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, Dr. Seuss, Anne Rice, Tom Clancy, Chris Claremont, who wrote the X-Men.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Boris Vallejo and Norman Rockwell. I just put them in there because they're such great artists and illustrators.
Yeah, that's a great list.
I did get a picture with Stan Lee. My daughter dragged me to Manhattan to the Comic-Con, and I didn't even go that day. And here he comes with his entourage, you know.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and what would you say one of your favorites is Dr. Seuss? One of your favorite books? Do you reckon?
Oh, without question. You know, again, my mother read that to us. She made it doubly fun because her English, you know, she speaks pretty good English, but with an accent. So she would make it even more, you know, when reading is made fun for children, there's no question that that's going to take them places.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Dr. Seuss took me, the rhyming, the illustrations were fantastic. I thought the art was phenomenal. It had an impact on you for some odd reason. It does in your formative years.
Oh yeah. I can understand why, like, you know, such a powerful story and read by your mother, you know, absolutely.
I love his moral stories where they strip the land and everything's gone. What's it? The one, the Lorax?
Oh, the Lorax, yeah. That's right, yeah.
I love it when there's a subliminal, you know, moral message, man. You know, because little kids are seeing that, but years later you think about that. Wow, that was fairly accurate, you know.
And they might even be subtle hints, like subtle things they're giving kids information on, and it's subliminal, like you say, like they're getting it in there so to help children, like, really, isn't it?
Sure, without question.
Yeah, it's great. And would you have a favorite movie yourself, Miguel, as well? Your favorite film?
Well, obviously, let me see. I'd say The Matrix. For the genre of police, it would have to be Black Rain.
Oh yeah, great stuff. Yeah.
Young Guns wasn't bad either with Emilio Estevez.
Oh, Class has a great movie. Yeah, classic movie. Yeah.
I obviously love some of the the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Star Wars and Star Trek series, you know, and genre, the entire chain, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. And your favorite music as well? Do you have a favorite listen to music? Listen to.
I would have to be eclectic because growing up in New Jersey, right next to Manhattan, we had salsa, hip hop, rock and roll, Even they're classical. There's one song that inspired me to write a scene in my book. There's a character called Nala, who's a high ranker, but she has a dark side. So Mesa da Requiem. I don't know if I'm pronouncing, so my taste in music would be eclectic, If you're Hispanic, Spanish people love salsa, they love merengue, but growing up in New York, everything is hip hop, rock and roll, club music, a pretty good mix, a fair mix.
Yeah. Similar to myself, yeah. I love all kinds of music, yeah. Great stuff.
It's gotta touch the soul,
Yeah, definitely. And have you been to many concerts yourself? Do you go to many gigs?
Well, my part-time job is at MetLife Stadium.
Okay.
Giant, so I get to see all the concerts for free.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Like I saw Lady Gaga for free. I saw Guns N' Roses for free.
Wow. Yeah, great stuff.
So that's nice,
Yeah, brilliant. I only saw them there recently myself, Guns N' Roses. They're playing over here, which was class. They're still as good as ever. Axl Rose, his voice is going a little bit, but really, really good. Yeah.
When I saw what this man could do with his guitarist,
Slash, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God, he was that was unbelievable. I can't believe it. He's so good. I don't know how old this man is, but he does the solo part that is super next level.
Class, yeah. Like the first time I ever saw them was 1992 in Slane, and I was like, oh, what a gig. Absolutely brilliant.
I had a good time that day.
Right, yeah. That was cool, yeah. Good memory. Yeah, so thanks a million for coming on tonight, Miguel. Really, really enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate it. It's my honor to be here.
Yeah, and I wish you all the success going forward with all you do with your books. Look amazing.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Yeah. Because I'll have to send you on it. I wrote with my first children's book there recently. It's called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends, and we're talking about earlier on about the way our kids kind of influence us, So like they were all bedtime stories I made up for the children. So it's great to get your books out there, isn't it? It's amazing.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Especially when it's great that you've gotten some great feedback from Amazon already.
Sure, the people who buy them post as they post comments.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
A lot of positive stuff. It's encouraging, as a writer, you want that,
Yeah, no, and I'll be watching out on the movies hopefully in the next year or two.
Yet again.
Fingers crossed.
God.
Great stuff.
Press email.
No, but listen, I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for taking the time to come on today.
Sure, thank you, sir. It's been an honor to be here, man.
Brilliant. So thanks a million, Eb, for listening to today's podcast, Mark's Motivational Podcast with Miguel Rivera.
Maybe that should be the name of my book company, River with an A.
Rivera, there we go. But thanks again, and all the best.
Thank you, man.
Take care. Thanks so much.
Have a good night, man.
You too.
Hello, everyone. Mark here. Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world.